Today is a special one, and I mean that sincerely, because right now, Arsenal Football Club is sitting at the centre of the entire football world. Not just in England, not just in Europe, but globally. And in this video, we are going to break down everything. The Carabao Cup final build-up, the Champions League quarter-final draw, the injury news, the transfer rumours, the expert opinions pouring in from every direction, and what all of it means for this club at this precise moment in history. So let us get straight into it. No wasting time, because there is a lot to cover. Let me set the scene for you clearly. Arsenal are 4 days away from walking out of Wembley Stadium to face Manchester City in the Carabao Cup final. This is not just a cup final. This is the first opportunity for this Arsenal squad to end what has been a 6-year trophy drought. 6 years of near misses, 6 years of promises, 6 years of building, and now the door is open. But it is not just about the Carabao Cup. The situation is far bigger than that. Arsenal are 9 points clear at the top of the Premier League table. They are through to the quarter-finals of the Champions League, where they will face Sporting CP, and they are still alive in the FA Cup. That means the quadruple is on the table. The quadruple, 4 trophies in a single season, something no English club has ever achieved in history. The weight of this moment is enormous, and every single piece of news coming out of this club right now carries that weight with it. If you want this level of in-depth analysis every single week, hit that subscribe button right now and join the Melissa Arsenal analyst community. We break down every story so you never miss the bigger picture. Let us begin. The reality for both clubs heading into Sunday is that the injury picture is clearer now than it was a few days ago. And broadly speaking, both sides are largely fit. For Manchester City, it is now confirmed that Gvardiol will miss the final through injury, and Marc Guéhi will also be absent, but for a different reason, ineligibility. Despite their UEFA Champions League exit to Real Madrid, Pep Guardiola was able to rest key players ahead of the final. So City arrive at Wembley, battered from Europe, but rested for this occasion. My analyst comment here is important. Losing to Gvardiol is significant for City, where he has been one of their most consistent defenders this season. His physicality and his ability to deal with high-intensity pressing is exactly what you need against an Arsenal side that presses relentlessly. Without him, City's defensive line looks more vulnerable on the left side. Arsenal's right-sided attackers will be very aware of that. For Arsenal, the picture is slightly more complicated. And Mikel Merino is confirmed out long-term. Martin Ødegaard is listed as a doubt. Ødegaard Timber is also a doubt. These are not small absences. Ødegaard is Arsenal's captain. He is the heartbeat of their build-up play. If he cannot start, Arteta faces a significant tactical decision. However, there is positive news on Eberechi Eze. After Arsenal's 2-0 win over Bayer Leverkusen in the Champions League, Eze was substituted in the second half, causing concern. But he has since confirmed that the issue is not serious and that he will be okay. He opened the scoring in that Leverkusen game, and his form right now is outstanding. He remains a key option for Arteta heading into Sunday. The evidence suggests Arsenal can cope even with those doubts. The squad depth they have built this season means Arteta has options regardless of who is available. But the Ødegaard situation is one to watch very closely between now and Sunday. This is one of the most fascinating sub-stories heading into the final, and the football world cannot stop talking about it. Kepa Arrizabalaga has played every single game in the Carabao Cup this season. He has been brilliant. In 5 fixtures, he has conceded just 3 goals, and he was the hero in the penalty shootout against Crystal Palace. His performances in the competition have been exceptional, and there is a strong case for keeping faith with him. But here is where it gets complicated. Kepa's record in English domestic cup finals when he has been in the matchday squad is 5 appearances and 5 defeats. 5 finals, 5 losses. He was on the losing side in the Carabao Cup final against Manchester City in 2019 and against Liverpool in 2022. In that Liverpool final, he missed the decisive penalty. He also played the FA Cup final that Chelsea lost to Leicester City, where he was criticised for conceding a long-range strike from Youri Tielemans. That is not a small statistic. That is a pattern, and Mikel Arteta will be fully aware of it. On the other side of the argument is David Raya, and the praise for Raya right now is coming from every direction. Declan Rice, Arsenal's own player, described Raya as a real leader for the squad. He said that the intensity Raya trains at and the level he brings to every session gives everyone around him confidence. Rice called him incredible. Those are not just polite words from a teammate. That is genuine belief in a goalkeeper who has transformed this club. Jamie Carragher went even further. He said clearly that if Arsenal go on to win the Premier League, David Raya has been one of the biggest reasons why, not just this season, but the actual decision to sign him and replace Aaron Ramsdale. Carragher called that signing a pivotal moment for the club. Thierry Henry added his voice by publicly backing Raya for the Premier League Player of the Season award. Henry stated on CBS Sports that Raya should be in contention because of what he does for Arsenal every single time. Henry highlighted Raya's ability to make 2 to 3 outstanding saves per game, preventing losses and keeping the team in contention. The numbers back this up. Raya has kept 21 clean sheets in 40 appearances across all competitions this season. My analytical view is this: the decision Arteta makes in goal on Sunday will tell us everything about how he thinks about this final. If he sticks with Kepa, he is rewarding consistency within the competition and protecting squad harmony. If he starts Raya, he is making a cold, ruthless decision based on quality and eliminating a psychological risk. Both decisions are defensible, but the evidence on Raya's form this season is overwhelming, and the weight of that cup final record against Kepa cannot be ignored. Kepa himself addressed the occasion publicly. He spoke about the special atmosphere at Wembley. He said that Arsenal have big players who have played in finals, in the Euros, in the World Cup, in the Champions League. He said they know what it is to play in big games every 3 days. He remained composed and focused, emphasising that the aim is simply to win and that they will prepare everything in the best way possible. That composure is admirable, but ultimately this is Arteta's call, and it is one of the most consequential goalkeeper decisions any Arsenal manager has faced in years. What strikes me most about this Arsenal squad heading into Sunday is the mentality. The things being said publicly reflect a group that is not just hungry. They are focused in a very specific way, and that focus is telling. Declan Rice spoke clearly about Arsenal's quadruple hopes. He acknowledged the possibility but immediately redirected the conversation to Sunday. He said the team treats every game like a final, and this one really is a final. He said winning trophies is the main goal this season, but that they will talk about that when they get over the line. That is the language of a mature squad. Not getting carried away, locked in on the immediate task. Piero Hincapié echoed that sentiment exactly. The defender said the squad is really focused on the final, calling it a very important game. He said they are going to train very hard to get to the final in the best way possible and to win the title. That is exactly the kind of public messaging you want from a squad preparing for Wembley. Noni Madueke brought the emotional dimension. He said winning the Carabao Cup would mean the world to the squad. He described getting that first trophy as incredible and said they will then be aiming to go all the way and win every competition. The hunger is real. The awareness of what this trophy would mean, ending a 6-year wait, is very real. And that kind of motivated, desperate to win energy can be the difference in a tight final. The external commentary around Arsenal right now is extraordinary. Let me take you through it clearly. Carlo Ancelotti, the Real Madrid manager, described Arsenal as a very formidable team. He said he has been watching them recently and that you can see how determined they are. He suggested that at the rate they are going, they could win more than 2 trophies this season. He's saying, your club could win multiple trophies. That is not a small thing. Gabby Agbonlahar made a confident prediction that Arsenal will beat Manchester City in what he called a spicy Carabao Cup final. He pointed to the defensive combination of Gabriel Magalhaes and William Saliba and how aggressive they will be against Erling Haaland. He also predicted tension on the touchline between Arteta and Gvardiol, 2 men who share a deep football relationship, but who both understand what is at stake here. Paul Merson went even further in his assessment. He said he cannot see any team having a clear plan to stop Arsenal. He pointed out that they are the only English team still competing for the quadruple and said the conversation is no longer just about whether they can win the league, it is about whether they can win all 4 trophies. Merson concluded by saying there is no doubt for him. He described Arsenal as the best team in the world right now and said with the form and belief they have, they look capable of winning anything. Steven Gerrard gave a thoughtful breakdown of Declan Rice's development. He said Rice is going from strength to strength and that he has become one of the best in the world. He credited David Moyes for schooling Rice tactically at West Ham. He credited England duty for building his confidence among elite players. And he credited Mikel Arteta's coaching for taking him to the next level. Gerrard said he wishes Liverpool had signed him, which for a Liverpool legend is about as high a compliment as you can receive. Frank Leboeuf was equally direct about Rice. He named him Arsenal's player of the season without any hesitation, saying there is no competition for him and calling Rice arguably the best player in Europe or in the world for most of the season. That is an extraordinary statement and the evidence on the pitch supports it. Neymar Jr. added a global perspective. He said he watched Arsenal's games against Atletico Madrid and Bayer Leverkusen and described them as an exciting team to watch. He highlighted Declan Rice, Gabriel Eberechi Eze, Victor Gyökeres and David Raya as players who particularly impressed him. He said he believes they can achieve a lot this season. When Neymar Jr. is watching your games and naming your players specifically, that speaks to the level of global attention this Arsenal squad has attracted. Kyle Walker offered a more measured view from the perspective of someone who has played in title-winning Manchester City teams. He acknowledged that Arsenal have put themselves in a very good position, but he also noted that Manchester City were harder to play against because of how deeply ingrained their winning habits are. That is a respectful but honest assessment, and it reflects the challenge Arsenal still face, not just Sunday, but in the title race beyond it. Thierry Henry's comments were the most complex and perhaps the most meaningful. Speaking about which trophy matters most in Arsenal's quadruple charge, Henry said that for him, winning the league is the defining achievement. He added that he even doubted at one point whether Arteta could do it, saying the results at certain times made him question whether it was possible. But he then acknowledged that Arteta found a way. He learnt on the job. He arrived after someone like Arsene Wenger and after Unai Emery, and he found a way through all of that. Henry said Arteta is serious about everything, all the details. That level of respect from Thierry Henry, a man who does not give it easily, carries real weight. Beyond Sunday, Arsenal's Champions League journey is heating up significantly. The quarter-final draw has been confirmed. Arsenal will face Sporting CP. The other ties are Bayern Munich versus Real Madrid, Barcelona versus Atletico Madrid and Paris Saint-Germain versus Liverpool. Arsenal and Liverpool are the only Premier League sides remaining in the competition. Every other English club has been eliminated. Chelsea went out 8-2 on aggregate. Manchester City lost 5-1 to Real Madrid. Tottenham lost 7-5 to Atletico. Newcastle went out 8-3 to Barcelona. Arsenal beat Bayer Leverkusen 3-1 on aggregate to reach the quarter-finals. They drew 1-1 in the first leg at the Bay Arena before winning 2-0 at the Emirates. That was a composed, professional European performance. The financial rewards for Arsenal's Champions League run are already enormous. They have secured a total of £59.8 million in prize money through the group stage, the last 16 advancement and UEFA's expanded prize distribution system. If they reach the semi-finals, they stand to earn an additional £13 million. If they reach the final, another £16.1 million. And if they win the competition, a further £5.7 million on top of that. The evidence suggests this is not just a footballing journey. It is a financial transformation that will shape Arsenal's ability to invest in the squad for years to come. Regarding Sporting CP specifically, there is an important detail to note. Sporting's captain, Morten Schulman, will miss the first leg due to suspension. He will return for the second leg at the Emirates Stadium. What makes that second leg fascinating is that Hjulmand is a boyhood Arsenal supporter, reportedly with a tattoo linked to the club. He will walk out at the Emirates knowing what that ground means to him. That is a human story layered within the football story. It adds a compelling dimension to what promises to be a very interesting quarter-final tie. In terms of Champions League winning odds, the latest figures show Arsenal as the outright favourites to win the competition at 9-4. Bayern Munich follow at 13-4. Barcelona are at 9-2. Paris Saint-Germain at 5-1. Real Madrid at 7-1. Liverpool at 9-1. Atletico Madrid at 19-1. And Sporting CP at 49-1. For Arsenal to be the outright favourites to win the Champions League at this stage is remarkable. It reflects what the football world believes about this squad right now. One of the most striking statistical stories of this Arsenal season is the contribution of the summer signings. The numbers are genuinely impressive. Victor Gyökeres leads the group with 18 goal contributions broken down as 16 goals and 2 assists. Eberechi Eze has 15 contributions, 9 goals and 6 assists. Noni Madueke has 10 7 goals and 3 assists. Martin Zubimendi has 9 6 goals and 6 assists. And Piero Hincapié has 2 1 goal and 1 assist. Together, Arsenal's summer signings have combined for 54 goal contributions between them. That is an extraordinary collective impact. For a club that invested heavily in the transfer window, the return on that investment has been exceptional. The evidence suggests that Arsenal's recruitment strategy under Andre Berta has been one of the key factors in this remarkable season. Each player has contributed in a meaningful way, and the squad functions as a genuinely collective unit rather than relying on 1 or 2 individuals. There is a fact worth noting that adds another layer of confidence to Arsenal's preparation for Sunday. Mikel Arteta has never lost a game at Wembley Stadium as either a player or a manager. That record remains intact going into this final. Wembley is sometimes described as a place that can intimidate teams or create psychological pressure. But for Arteta, it has only ever been a place of success. Whether that record has any bearing on Sunday is impossible to say with certainty, but it is not a coincidence to be dismissed either. Arsenal are also unbeaten in their last 6 games against Manchester City, winning 3 and drawing 3 with an aggregate score of 10 goals to 5. That head-to-head form over recent encounters reflects a significant shift in the balance of power between these two clubs. Arsenal have now matched the 37 wins recorded by the iconic 2003 to 2004 Invincible squad, but they have done it with 8 games remaining in the season. The current squad has achieved those 37 wins in 49 games, with 9 draws and only 3 defeats. Their win percentage stands at 76% compared to the Invincibles' 63%. The 2003 to 2004 season finished with 59 games played. This squad has 8 games left to potentially surpass every record from that legendary campaign. That is not a statement to be made lightly. That is the scale of what Arteta's Arsenal is achieving right now. While the first team makes headlines, there is an important story developing behind the scenes involving 16-year-old Arsenal starlet Max Dowman. His father, Rob Dowman, and his brother, Ethan Dowman, have officially obtained FIFA agent licenses to manage his career. This decision was made following numerous agents approaching the family after Max made his Arsenal debut at just 15 years old. By managing his career internally, the family ensures Max remains in control of his own development and future opportunities. Max has already signed a pre-contract with Arsenal, which will convert into his first professional contract on his 17th birthday, which falls on December 31st. The family's approach reflects a careful, considered plan to protect a young talent at a club that clearly believes in his future. This is the kind of story that goes under the radar during a busy week, but it matters for the long-term picture of this club. Now, let us be clear about what is confirmed information and what remains at the rumour stage. This is important. Regarding Martin Ødegaard, there are reports that Juventus and Inter Milan have made concrete inquiries about the Arsenal captain. There are also links to a return to Real Madrid. However, sources close to the player and the club firmly dismiss any exit. Ødegaard is reportedly happy at Arsenal and determined to prove his value. He has a contract running until 2028 and talks for a new long-term extension are said to be opening. Arteta has no intention of losing his captain. A move away looks highly unlikely at this stage. This is a rumour and the evidence suggests it will not develop further. Regarding Leon Goretzka, it is reported that Arsenal face competition from Juventus for the Bayern Munich midfielder this summer. The 31-year-old is set to leave Bayern when his contract expires, and both Arsenal and Juventus are monitoring the situation closely. This is a rumour at this stage. No move has been confirmed. Regarding Miles Lewis-Skelly, it is being reported that Arsenal are set to explore a loan move for the young defender next season. The feeling within the club is that he was not quite as ready as initially thought for regular first-team football at this level. The arrivals of Piero Hincapié and Riccardo Calafiori have further limited his pathway into the squad. This is being reported as a likely outcome, but is not yet confirmed. Regarding Tino Livramento of Newcastle United, Arsenal are said to be keeping a close eye on the fullback ahead of the summer transfer window. In 107 appearances for Newcastle, Livramento has registered 2 goals and 3 assists. This is described as early monitoring. It is a rumour and nothing more at this stage. Let me bring all of this together for you. What we are witnessing with Arsenal Football Club right now is genuinely historic. A squad that has matched the wins of the most celebrated team in their history with games still to play. A squad that is 3 competitions deep and chasing a quadruple that no English club has ever achieved. A squad filled with players whose summer signings alone have contributed 54 goals and assists between them. A squad whose goalkeeper is being praised by legends of the game as a potential player of the season. A squad whose midfielder is being described as one of the best players in the world. And sitting above all of it, Sunday, the Carabao Cup final, Wembley, Arsenal versus Manchester City. The injury news gives Arsenal reason for belief. Gvardiol is out for City. Haaland is fit, but Gabriel and Saliba will be ready for him. The goalkeeper decision will be Arteta's defining call of the week. The squad mentality, based on everything being said publicly by players like Rice, Hincapié and Madueke, reflects a group that is focused, motivated and desperate to lift that trophy. The external voices, Ancelotti, Agbonlahor, Merson, Gerrard, Leboeuf, Henry, Neymar, all of them point in the same direction. This is an Arsenal team operating at an elite level, one that the football world is watching with genuine admiration and respect. The Wembley record is intact, the head-to-head form is strong, the historical context is enormous, and the hunger in that squad is evident in every single word being spoken publicly. This is an Arsenal club at the peak of its powers with the chance to start something special on Sunday afternoon. The first trophy, the beginning of what could become the greatest season in the history of this football club. That is the full picture. That is the analysis. And that is exactly why you are here on Melissa Arsenal Analyst. If this breakdown gave you value, please hit the subscribe button and leave a comment below. Tell me who you think Arteta should start in goal on Sunday. Kepa or Raya? I want to hear your thoughts and I will see you in the next one. Come on, Arsenal.